Hey guys, and welcome to a unique kind of video. I really hope I don't have to do too many of these catch-up videos, but I'm basically going to bring you up to date on what's been going on. So many of you will know that episode 2 went a little south, in as much as we had a copyright claim on a piece of music that was in the video. Basically, one of the tracks to the game was copyright protected, and a company was making a claim against the video or videos that contained the music, because obviously we didn't have permission to use the music. There was no attribution, and we hadn't spoken to them. So it ended up being okay. It wasn't a copyright strike. It was just like a notification that we weren't allowed to use the music. So I ended up, and I think Faz did the same, we ended up just using the onboard sort of YouTube bit of the studio, where we use the audio library music just to replace the sections of the video with different music that we could use instead of the claimed music. But in this case, because we're playing on the PS4 and using the onboard recorder system, it ends up taking out our chat as well. So if you watch the yes, I did just set myself on fire. If you watched episode 2, you'll realise at some point that we just stop chatting, and then a bit of slightly louder music just kicks in and there's no chat at all. That's because when we took out the music for the video, it takes out the chat as well, because it's all combined to be one in the same, unfortunately. But it's still a cool video. It just is one of those learning curves, unfortunately. We just sort of have to be careful from here on out with music in videos, because it's the slightly more difficult side of things. So yeah, so learning curve. Yes, we do manage to defeat this guy this time, only to run into this big son of a gun. Do pay attention to the deer at the bottom of the screen. Funny. Yes, that's right, the deer is not moving his legs, but is rather using his bottom as a jet propulsion tool, or however you want to phrase it. He is absolutely pooping himself, leaving a brown trail. That is a bum rocket. We do end up getting away from him though, with a lot of laughing and a lot of, if you did notice, me running into every single obstacle in that short snippet. It did continue for the rest of that level, I can assure you. It was only towards the last sort of 2 or 3 sort of doors like jumps or whatever, that I managed to actually get the hang of it. But yeah, so learning curve. We're going to start using our own music. We'll cut out in-game music just to be safe, so that we can one day when we get to that point and we're monetizing, that we can be safe and not have any issues. So yeah, it's a learning curve. This one of my more frustrating levels, not really because it's that difficult, but more because I'm just not awake. I think it was still morning when we played this session, and I do take painkillers in the morning for an arthritic shoulder, which meant that at this stage in the morning they were sort of working and I really wasn't with it. And I seem to keep sort of mistaking Faz's character for mine. So Faz is the orange knight and I'm the red, if you didn't know, and I keep thinking I'm the orange knight and I keep spacing out. I did sort of know what I was doing in this part of the level and didn't, because Faz eventually was sort of like trying to tell me we need to get in front of the boat, and lure him to the front of the boat, because the cannon needs to hit him. Only it wasn't going to plan because I wasn't in front of the boat. I kept sort of wandering off and trying to sort of go toe to toe with him and get some melee hits in him, and then I was in the water, and then I'm furiously tapping the attack button, and because I'm in the water I can't attack, so I'm having to remember to jump up, and it was all too late, because as you'll see momentarily, the guy gets up and slaps me and takes me out of the picture permanently, leaving Faz on his own. And there we go. I'm out of it. I'm dead. There's no way for Faz to resuscitate me because we're in the water. So he ends up trying to do it alone. He did try, bless him. I didn't make it easy for him, to be fair. That is what's supposed to have happened for the entire fight. If we'd done that the entire fight, we might have got it done first time. But unfortunately I didn't make it easy, and the cat pins Faz in the corner. Yeah. Faz tries to recover and tries to get some ground on him, but it doesn't work. He rolls in and slaps Faz a couple of times, and here is the actual attempt that does work thanks to some better concentration from me. Good bit of teamwork this time. We managed to win. We are going to continue on. We're not going to go back and try again. If we had to, it would mean we'd have to start again and work our way back to this point, which we're not going to do. So I thought I'd just do this little catch up and just show you bits and snippets of what we did during the session. So when we do our next recording session and we when we do the next recording session, you sort of you get the next episodes out. You'll know what has happened and what's happened in between. So you're not like, oh god, they're high level, but I missed something. No, this is basically what's happened. We've been like grinding these levels and leveling up and doing whatnot. This particular level we end up having to do a few times because there is a fight coming up in a minute which is a bit of a nuisance. I can't remember the conversation revolving that square, the square skull. I think we were on about us all being clones or whatnot. I can't remember the fact there was a funny pun in there somewhere, but I can't remember it for the life of me. You will notice that I'm just standing there like a complete and utter turd, swinging at air. That's because I'm losing concentration whilst talking to Faz and thinking that I am his Orange Knight. Yes, we did just wipe. The boss absolutely wiped the floor with us once again because it wasn't quite concentrating, but this time it was more because the bats that are sort of hovering above you get on like on top of you and sort of get in your way. It's a bit irritating. But we have a second attempt, which once again does not go well, and Faz goes down and I'm desperately trying to get to him so I can revive him, but unfortunately I get mobbed by everybody and we wipe yet again. But we get it right for the third time, and here is the victorious battle. Faz knocks him down for him to let out a humongous fart and turn into a little bat, who now loves me and starts following me. It does mean we leave the owl behind. I think he appears in a little pet cage, and we move on to the next level, which is a little bit more fun. This level was slightly more entertaining, slightly less frustrating, because we had the king and all the knights there and the artillery which were helping us and whatnot. It became a little bit more fun, a little bit of a better episode. We were having a little bit more of a laugh, like just sort of confidently strolling through the fields and whatnot, until we get like to these bees which look like they have triangles strapped to their bums. Otherwise it's pretty decent and easy. And they do appear to be using lightsabers. This is what Faz said to me. Yes, they are using lightsabers, and yes, we can unlock them at some point, which I am looking forward to be fairly honest with you. I cannot wait to unlock the lightsabers. Apparently, there is a whole absolute ton of weapons to unlock. There's loads of them to unlock. So it's one of those challenge things to see just how many weapons we can unlock. Faz is just a bulldozer. He's just up in front. You just see loads of knights go flying when he swings that thing. It's funny as all hell. But yeah, so we do go through a lot of levels and do try and get as much done as we can and get up the levels as much as we can. At the moment, as it stands, Faz is like a couple of levels in front of me, I think, as it finishes. And here is the next princess, which unfortunately we don't rescue. We don't rescue. We fight yet more knights with lightsabers, and it isn't long before we get to the boss battle, which was hilariously frustrating because you'll see what I mean when the snippet comes up. It's just the way he attacks you, you just end up running around for a lot of the fight, and it's just chronic. But it is good. It still is good fun. Though there are some bits like, oh my god, it is just funny, and it is just good fun. You never get sick of it. So I've cut out a lot of the boss fights because it does go on for quite a while. As you can see, like the cannons just keep blitzing pretty much most of the map. And Faz gets in the corner and moves in for the kill. We think we've won the day and we're about to joust for the honour of kissing the princess, only for this guy to appear and to be very, very upset that we have killed his friend. So now very clearly disturbed, as you can see on his very, very disturbed face, bashing through a metal door and running off with the princess. Oh dear. For us to go into this little sequence, which took us a while to figure out. We kept falling off the carriage, or getting blown off the carriage, or just simply stepping off the carriage because we were fighting and get to Overzealous. But it doesn't take all that long. It does for a certain friend of ours to rear his ugly, ugly head and enter the fray. Which made things a lot more interesting because we had to learn a certain dynamic of defending ourselves, which did take a long time. As you can see, if you watch his eyes, they start charging up for a laser beam. That took us ages to work out that we had to sort of block it. And I think more so it took me ages to work out that we had to block it, and then we were trying to figure out a way to blast him in the face. We got there in the end and start working together, throwing fireballs or lightning bolts at him. Doing ever so well until the tunnel took us out. Yep, the tunnel. And this sort of section of fighting is the last section of the session. As after this section of our gaming session, we decided to call it a day. To finish recording and save up and leave it there to do the next few episodes. And after we finished recording this session is where we found out we had the copyright claim, and so yeah, here we are. So that's what we got up to. That's the different stages we did, and the different boss fights we did. We end up as Faz being level 13 and me being level 11. And yeah, we leave it after this. So thank you for joining me. That's all I've got time for now. We look forward to seeing you next time. Hopefully get it right with our own music and do some good episodes. But until then, guys, thanks for listening to me waffle on. I hope you enjoyed watching the video of what we got up to. See you next time.